on Wednesday, and to the UK, where the government demanded to know everything about its residents.
And a snapshot of life in England, Wales and Northern Ireland will be captured today when millions of people take part in a once-in-a-decade census.
But even before the census was conducted, a surprising trend had emerged.
So it looks as if 2020 was the first year since World War II that we saw a really significant population fall across the UK.
Typically after a pandemic, you tend to get a slump in births and then you get a boom. We saw that with Ebola, we saw it with SARS.
Well, that makes sense after Ebola. Hey, why don't you bring those bleeding eyeballs back to my place and let's make some babies. With more on this, I'm joined by our man in London, Andy Zaltzman, with The Week in the UK. Andy, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Charlie.
Now, the census happened this week, but it is expected to show the biggest population decline since 1941. A tragedy for the country or a triumph for Brexit?
Well, it's a start, Charlie, because one of the key planks of the Brexit campaign was the promise to get the population back down to glory days of Britain levels, back to those happier, simpler times when everyone had their own henge and we didn't eat all that filthy, complicated foreign food like potatoes and carrots, and you could have a picnic without there being anyone else in the surrounding 25 miles, apart from maybe a pack of wolves and the odd dinosaur, very much like you have in Australia, I believe. Also, the British fertility rate has dropped to the lowest on record. The average British womb is now plopping out an average of a mere 1.6 British sprogs.
So why is that?
Well, it's simple, really. Babies are just not the kind of people we want in this country these days. They can't speak the language. They're always demanding free food, free clothes and free lodging. Parasites. People like that are exactly why we voted for Brexit.
Just makes sense. To another story, and Buckingham Palace have said that they are looking at hiring a chief of diversity.
Buckingham Palace is reviewing its diversity policies. A royal source confirms to ABC News that the palace is considering hiring a diversity czar.
So what do you think, Andy? Is that going to do it?
Well, for a start, Charlie, if I was in the royal family, and I'm not yet, I would not call anything a czar. It just does not bode well at all. And for a second start, it is important to point out that there actually has been some diversity in the royal family previously. I mean, some of them prefer hunting to horse racing and others prefer horse racing to hunting.
And who is in line for this job, this diversity czar?
Steve Smith.
The cricketer?
Yes, it's England's new strategy to stop him scoring runs in the Ashes. Tempt him with another job. You can't turn down the Liz, can you? You simply can't.
I haven't had to, but I'll take your word for it. Thank you very much, Andy Zaltzman.
Goodbye.